Um, Welcome. Once again, we come together to experience the great love that holds us all the time and to expand and magnify that love for all beings. We will meet from now on the first Sunday of the month at this time, 1 p.m. Pacific Coast time. And please join us whenever you can. And if you can't join us, you can pick it up later on our website, netoflight.org or grandmotherspeak.com. Or you can pick us up on YouTube, Sharon McErlane Online Teachings. Our goal is for all of us to be able to more easily learn the grandmother's teachings and learn how to live them. That's what they ask of us. They're not interested in us proselytizing, and so we don't do that. And they're not interested in us being making a commercial program out of this, so we don't do that either. But they're interested in us living their message. They say the greatest use you can make of what we've come to give is to live it. And we are in a position, many of us who come together at these gatherings have been working with the grandmothers, working with the great mother, the working with the feminine principle of creation for a number of years now. So it's not news to us anymore. It was news to us, but now we're kind of used to it. And so as we come together and we share how it's working for us, we're of great benefit to all those who are coming to learn this. This is new stuff. The concept of God the Mother, the concept of yin, of the power of yin, the power of the feminine principle, the great holder and supporter of all life, has been absent on earth for a long time. And now is the time, this is the 11th hour, as we all know. This is the time when we've been called to step in and step up and become one with this energy because everything else is falling apart. And all you have to do is look at the television screen or pick up a newspaper or walk out your door to know that's true. And yet, the underpinnings of life on earth, the great love that rocks and holds and supports life, is here. And we are here to broadcast that. We are here to strengthen that in one another and in ourselves. So, this is why we come together as we do. Um, You can also pick up any other Zoom meetings that we're doing. You can contact those on the YouTube or on our website. You're all welcome. Everyone is welcome to this work. We don't charge money for it. Hopefully, we never will. What has been given to us is meant to be given away. We're happy to give to you. So, to begin, we're going to start with the Net of Light meditation, which brings us all together in this great uh, skin or web of oneness so that we can receive more and we can give more. So begin by thinking of us all together here. There are people with us from all across the world now. There are grandmothers from Australia and New Zealand, throughout Europe, throughout North America, some in South America, uh, and other parts of the world as well. We welcome you, we love you, and we're glad to share with you. Think of your union now with me, with all who are gathered here. Our hearts are linked in light, and together we form and are part and parcel of the great net of light that holds the earth now, here to hold the earth steady during these times of change that have come upon us so quickly, so relentlessly. The net of light binds all of life together in the one love, the fabric of being of the universe. And it will hold this world steady now as it shakes and rattles and goes through all the changes that we're going through. And there will be more of them. The grandmothers tell us there will be many more. And our job is to stand as steady as we can and to love no matter what. And this we do. We think of our union with one another, our union with all those on planet Earth. We think of our union with the great council of the grandmothers and with all the great beings of light, the divine ones who we love. Each one is present here now. Whatever form of the divine you love is here. Call on them. They are here already, but they like to be remembered just as we like to be remembered. So know that Buddha is here and Jesus is here and Saint Germain is here and Mary is here and the great white brotherhood is here and the great spirit is here. They're all here. The grandmothers say, call us, they'll all come. Call any one of them, we will come. All the aspects of the divine are one. They just show up in different forms, in different languages, in different customs, according to the need of the time. And the need of this time is the need for mothering. And so the grandmothers say, and so we have come. We are the grandmothers. And we know how to take care of all of our children. And so now we ask that the grandmothers and all forms of the divine magnify the reach and grasp of the net of light so that wherever there is suffering, wherever there is need on earth, this great lifting takes place. And in the world now, there is great suffering, many multiple layers of it. And right on top is this huge, huge terror and suffering from the COVID virus. And we ask the grandmothers to embrace everyone who's afraid, who's grieving, who's angry and agitated, and lift them in light and hold them in the great love that encompasses every living thing. And so we think of all those who are suffering throughout the earth, especially great suffering going on now in India, Brazil, many, many places. And we ask, may everyone in all the worlds be happy. May everyone in all the worlds be happy. May everyone in all the worlds be happy. We cast to the human family everywhere, to every man, woman, child. We cast to the ancestors of the light, those who are no longer living in physical form, but who are with us. And we cast to those yet to be born, letting them know that love and light is here to enfold them and uphold them. We cast to the animal realm of life, asking that every animal receive whatever they most need now. And we cast to the plant realm and ask that every plant receive whatever's most needed now. And to the mineral realm. And we cast to all the elements of the earth itself, air, fire, water, ether, the great holder, container of all life, throughout time, throughout space, beyond time, beyond space. All are held in this great love. And again, we ask, may everyone in all the worlds be happy. May everyone in all the worlds be happy. May everyone in all the worlds be happy. Home, peace, peace, peace. And know that as together we've just prayed for everyone, we've also prayed for ourselves because we're part of that everyone who deserves to be happy now. And that brings us to what we're going to talk about today, which is uh, how working with the grandmothers have made us happier, how their teachings, their ways of being, their words, their songs, their motivations have brought us closer into oneness with the divine, so that we feel less and less and less separate from divinity. Last time when we met, which was last week, we talked about the struggle to try to get past this feeling of separation from the divine, which leads really perfectly to today, where we talk about how we're learning to allow this oneness to become real for us. So today we've got Tanaz with us. Again, she was here with us last week. Hi, Tanaz. And we've got Jane, who's with us today, and Lynn. And so all of us have been involved with the grandmothers for a long time now. Um, and so we do know of whence we speak. So I'd like just to throw this open and in no particular order, just share what comes to you that's been helpful to you.
Hi, everyone. Hi. Thanks for having this gathering, Sharon. When we were listening and talking about this earlier and from last week, it brought to mind several ways that the grandmothers have really connected me deeper into the divine. The divine was always something way out there. The grandmothers brought it down to earth with their communication style. And I thought about a time many years ago when I visited my hometown and I was stuck at a department store with my mom and we're standing at the jewelry counter, and I'm just thinking how I need to keep it together and keep it together. And inwardly I said, grandmothers, I need your help. I really need your help. And from nowhere, a feather floated down from the ceiling of this department store and landed right there on the counter, and it broke the spell. It broke the spell. And that's what I've noticed with the grandmothers is they're there when I ask them to be. And even if they can't really be there to make whatever it is go away, it's like, honey, we'll give you a cup of hot tea and rub your feet, and we'll be there for you while you go through this. And it's just such a support, talking about being supported by the feminine principle. That to me is a huge support from the feminine principle. Um, and when I think about friends of mine or people who I know who are really in deep straits right now, and I think to myself, oh, poor so and so, I immediately switch to wrapping them with the net of light, and just covering them warmly with the net of light. A whole different vibration, so much more uplifting and supportive to whatever's going on.
Wow. I love that feather dropping down. That I can't, I mean, that's so funny. And it's so like them to do something so out of nowhere.
Over and
Yeah.
over again. So I say to when I really encourage people, ask the grandmothers. When you need help, ask, and then look for something out of the ordinary. Just be open to whatever is going to come, because it's something that is going to be magical. It's something magical and very, very helpful, thankfully.
Thank you. Thank you. That's fun.
I love that, Lynn. That I love the fact that you said it's so magical. It really is. This has transported me, and I know so many others, all of you, into a whole different way of being, where instead of feeling low and angry and upset, just calling on the divine, calling on the grandmothers to wrap us in this warm blanket. I love what you said, and it does transport us into a whole different inner way of being. And for me, particularly, I think doing the meditations, casting the net of light, and the oneness that we experience as this global group, that which is embodied when we meet together in the gatherings, but even otherwise, we are so connected to one another. And I think that connection feels the oneness among us, and then a oneness closer to the divine.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been awesome.
Yeah, I've noticed, I began to notice several years ago that when we had a grandmother's meeting at my house, and we'd be doing the first half, we would always do check-ins and talk about their latest lessons and what was moving and shaping our lives, to kind of bring us all together. And the second half, we would be reading their books bit by bit, and then commenting and, well, what does that sound like for you? How does that work for you? And I noticed as we did that, there came to be, each time we were meeting, that was like there was a theme that was going on, because by the reactions that we had, and we were learning automatically from each other this particular lesson. And it was magical, the way they would segue in one teaching. Oh, I remember someone was telling a story about how she had this grudge against someone and she couldn't get over it, and she'd been asking for help. So then we opened the book, and what do we open to? Forgiveness work. And so there we went right into that. And so that kind of magical stuff would go on amongst us as we did this work. So that kind of, what you just said made me think about that.
Well, I'm a bit, when I first sort of understood what we were going to talk about today, it dawned on me that it wasn't that I didn't feel divine. I think I've always felt a connection as being divine. However, but happiness, excuse me, that was another thing. Everybody tells you that you should be happy. And I thought, I'm from New England here. It's not a concept that's really, used a whole lot. And then it dawned on me that what I have the deepest gratitude for the grandmothers is their lovely sense of humor and their simplicity and clarity in assuming everybody is divine. And it gave me, through holding a circle or through meditation or just saying a prayer to them, that there was a way of belonging to something that I didn't clearly understand, because I saw myself in terms of how other people saw me, especially when I think of this the last 4 years we've had here with this incredible tension between the masculine and the feminine. And it wasn't enough for me to picture the masculine as being a bull tethered and being frantic. because that was my experience of the masculine. But it was also understanding that if I didn't get a clearer understanding of who I was as divine feminine, I had no language. And so the grandmothers gave me a choice. I could continue to be angry and frustrated, or I could explore the inner sense of who I was as the feminine. What was it really like to be a compassionate, feminine being in a culture that didn't necessarily value that? And that's where their humor came in. And that's where, in a trip to Lithuania with Sharon and so forth, I was just exposed to all of these things that I had no experience with. Different entities, people that knew things about me, and I had no idea where they knew these things. And then I became really more centered through the dance of creation with the grandmothers, with the directions and with the elements. And I understood that there were messages to be had if I could just listen. And I could only listen from my feminine self. And I had to give it enough credibility in a culture that didn't honor that. And I realized that I could honor this sense of who I was myself, that I didn't need to see myself as a reflection in a masculine world. And that there were so many things that happened in my life that were not accidents. And I had to take the risk of saying, guess what? I just had an eagle fly down on Route 95, which is an interstate, into my windshield and just missed me by 2 inches. And I had just come from, I don't know, a high school reunion with my husband. And I thought, well, now just a minute. There's another message that's here. I need to pay attention to the grandmothers because there they were. And so I don't know, knowing I was held, by the grandmothers, literally, whether they're wings of an eagle or whatever, allowed me to have my own sense of humor. And then I understood happiness. I knew happiness is the acceptance of myself. And, they're just sitting there saying, well, of course, why did it take you so long? But it takes some of us longer than others. So anyway, that's me.
Wow, Jane. I remember when we first knew each other, and we were called to go to Lithuania to spread the grandmother's message, and it was so far out. And we met these physicists and these psychics and these military personnel, and they all were fascinated, and they wanted to know all about it, and they were recording us, and they were, oh my God, it went on and on and on. But I remember back then, you did have a lot of anger about the male, as we all did, really. We all had it. And you don't have that now. What happened?
Well, I'm a mother of 2 males, so, but I think what became more important to me than my anger and my self-righteousness was a sense of being. If I was truly to be a woman of compassion, and I truly believe I am, then I had to let go of my attachment to be seen by others in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had to let go of that. It had to be a conscious decision. That if I wanted to be a woman of compassion, then I really needed to know what attitudes, places, people, what things fostered that compassion, because that's what connects me to the divine, and what things and attitudes dismiss that. And, these past 4 years have been very difficult for me because, I was a social worker for 20 years. And when I saw everything being shredded on the political front, it was really difficult for me until I took a step back and let it all happen and hung on to myself and sat in the garden and listened to the wind and held myself responsible for holding that compassion in the midst of chaos. So I guess it was also giving up the fear of it all. I mean, the fear of how people saw me, fear of not being worthy, fear of not whatever. I mean, good Lord, we've got enough mandates in our culture. And giving up the anger at how women have been treated.
Mhm. Mhm.
That was the other thing.
Thank you. Thank you. You really, I wrote this down as you said it. I thought it was so important. And I think we all probably resonate to this, that you've been on this discovery of how to be a compassionate, feminine human being. And I think, I see you nodding to this, Tanaz. Do you have anything to say about that, Tanaz?
Yes, I resonate so much with that. I think we are, particularly as women, we're socialized to worry about what everybody else is going to, how they are going to view us, see us. And somehow we have to perform accordingly. And I think that this whole construct of the grandmothers and just being the loving grandmothers and accepting grandmothers seems to have put holes in that sort of idea that we need to be a certain way, that we can be ourselves. And whatever we are okay. Wherever we are in the journey, it's fine.
Mhm.
One doesn't have to be like this person or that person. You just be yourself and accept yourself as yourself. And I think that that's good enough and that's fine. I think that was very liberating for me.
Mhm. Mhm. Do you remember how you learned that? Was it from group discussion? Was it from reading the books? Was it from everything? Or how did you? Because it's a valuable thing to learn, self acceptance, and quite rare.
Yes. I think it was a little of everything, sort of. And I think it also depends on where we are in our own lives at that point. When a new piece of information comes our way, and sometimes it goes over us, we're not ready for it. And then when you're ready for it, it sort of gels. So it's been a process for so many years. So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
incrementally, little by little,
Yes.
feeling
Yes.
feeling a sense of self-acceptance.
Yes, yes. The grandmothers say that they have to teach us bit by bit because otherwise it would be too much of a shock to our systems and we would not be able to assimilate and really soak in and move that energy throughout our systems. We would short circuit or get sick or something like that. So they promise that they will increase our capacity to give and receive love, for instance, certainly wisdom, everything else as well, but they'll do it according to our capacity to hold it so that it happens. And once we get it, then we really have it. Lynn, I wondered if you wanted to speak about that idea of how to be a compassionate, feminine human being.
Someone talked about yin depleted and yin enhanced, and the whole concept of the grandmothers enhancing our yin and enhancing our power of the feminine, our beauty power is what it's called. I also see it as brave beauty power. Many women I know who are walking the walk of brave beauty power. And when I'm a caretaker, or that to me is yin depleted, because that's not helping me to help you. But when I'm hooked into that power, that beauty power, the sense of an unlimited source, what you said last week, Sharon, with the meditation of the pitcher and the cup, it's so simple, it's so beautiful, and it illustrates it so succinctly that there is an ever-flowing constant, I'm plugged in. And when I forget that I'm plugged in, because I'm not ever unplugged, but sometimes I feel like I am, there's the reminder there. Oh, that's right. I've got this. And to say, the grandmothers have my back, or the grandmothers have your back, or your back, that I know that I'm in the flow that way, and I'm not coming from that place of, oh gosh, I don't have the energy to do this, but I really, I know I have to, it's not like that anymore. I'm not saying it's never like that, but it's not like that as often.
Yeah. It's never been like that. The energy, the love, the life force has always come from within. That's what enabled us to take our first breath when we were born. But our conditioning has been so very, very patriarchal, so very, very yang focused, that we've thought we have to figure everything out and work hard and struggle and charge ahead. And so to learn that, no, what we need to do is just to go quiet, go within, and let it just rise in its massive, massive strength. I think that's what we'll do now to finish. But before I do, is anybody sitting on anything that you want to add here?
Can I just say something here, that I think part of this is a conscious decision, certainly on my part, to understand that if you decide to get connected to the divine through a quality of compassion or whatever it is, that you do have to make choices about where you are and where you're spending your energy. You really can't have it both ways. You can't be around places where compassion is dismissed as being weak and expect to survive. One of my clients told me one point, she said, if I don't walk in the quality that I know is what I am, she said, then I turn into a tornado. And I thought, that is really a good description. That it's really hard to stay centered, and what comes out of your mouth is unrecognizable. And, but when you can walk, no matter what's happening outside, within a sense of, for me, it's compassion, then you have an experience of being sacred, because you're making a decision to connect with the grandmothers consciously. It's not an accident. And then you can look at the other person next to you and appreciate the fact that they also have a way of connecting with the divine that has you. It's not your business what it is, but they have that capacity. So then this fosters for me a sense of sacredness of the other person. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. And thank you for bringing up the conscious choice, because with the minds that we've been given, it's it can either be, your mind can be your very dear friend, or can be the worst thing you ever encountered, because it can run around going berserk like a mad, crazed monkey, jumping from vine to vine to vine to vine, unless it has something to do that will keep it focused on this, what Jane's calling compassion, on the source, on the wellspring of life. And so we have in the grandmother's work, we've got all this variety of stuff you can use to bring yourself home to center. You can read any of the books. You could pick up any one of those books and open to a page and see what they've got for you that moment. It's very useful. You can play the songs, you can sing the songs, you can chant the Gayatri mantra, you can chant something else, you can watch any of the videos we've got. It's all geared to call you home. Come home to your power source. Come home. Don't waste your life. Don't let yourself waste your life. Claim your life. You are a sacred being. Waste no more time with that bullshit. Be who you are meant to be. So let's spend our last 5 minutes together making that commitment to the great yes. So again, we experience our union. It's no accident that we're all linked this way, that we are together here. And we say yes to the divine, which has been with us from our first breath, from before our first breath, always and forever with us. And will be with us when we leave our bodies, will always be there. This is who we are. We are one with the heart of the mother. We are one with the heart of God. That's it. That is us. We say yes. We say yes to our union with one another, each of us connected in this radiant light, each of us part of this radiant net of light. We are family in the true sense of the word. We are of that one love. We are that one love. And we breathe that love now, and the grandmothers come in around you, encircling you, and with them is any form of the divine that you love. Know that whoever you love is with you always. Love is not a one-way street. When you love, you are loved in return. And experience now how you are held in love, encircled in love. You're breathing it. It's pouring all over you. It's pouring inside you. You are awash in love. There is no limit of it. It is who you are. It's in your pores. It's in your blood vessels. It's in your heart. It's in your soul. It's in every hair follicle. Every bit of skin on your body is thrumming with love. And each breath you take, that love effortlessly flows into you, pouring throughout your glands and pouring throughout your organs, revivifying, cleansing, purifying, and loving, repairing, strengthening you with this love, which is your core, your essence, and you're receiving more and more of it, moment by moment. Every time you think of receiving love, your energy follows that thought and you receive even more. This is the commitment to saying yes to God, yes to love, yes to the source. You allow yourself to receive your birthright and notice how you feel as this is just radiance within, radiance without. I am one with the heart of the mother. I am one with the heart of love. I am one with the heart of the Father. I am one with God. I am one with God. Notice how you feel. Notice how your body feels. This is home. This has always been home. You are blooming as the flower that you've always been and always will be. Welcome, welcome home. Know that when we say goodbye for today, you take this with you. It can be no other way. It's yours, it's you, it's with you. We're on this voyage together, learning as we go, helping one another. Many thanks to each of you, to Lynn, to Jane, to Tanaz, to all the others who've been here with us today, to Nadia, to Diane, all of you. Namaste. See you next time.